Live from News Center 7, this is a breaking news update.
Good morning, I'm Cheryl McHenry, News Center 7, coming to you just after 4 with news of an active shooter in the Oregon district. We're hearing reports that multiple people perhaps are shot. We don't have any confirmed numbers at this time.
When I was out here earlier, I spoke to a woman. I saw her just sit down, and you could tell she just very, very distraught. You know, we're hearing reports of multiple fatalities. At that time, we still have not gotten that confirmed, but we're actually supposed to be hearing from some investigators on the scene.
We have 9 victims deceased.
Right now, we know 9 dead, 16 other victims being treated at area hospitals, working to ID the suspect. This person had a long gun, started shooting at people.
I'm joined right now by Robert Woodruff. And Robert, you saw all of this happen. Describe that to me.
Terrifying. It's like the guy just came out and started trying to kill everybody down here.
Gabby Enright has joined us now. What are you learning? This is just a terrible tragedy.
I like so many people, Cheryl, I was waking up to the news, and I'm getting these alerts on my phone, and I'm in shock. You and I have worked here a very long time. I cannot remember this scale of violence. I spent a lot of my 20s in the Oregon district, like many people, and thinking about what happened there and the amount of people that would be there, I just am in shock like everyone else.
But here's a tweet from the Dayton Police Department. It says, hashtag Dayton Fire is working to set up a family assistance center.
Right, and I've been able to confirm just through one of my friends, their son was shot. He is currently in surgery.
It's just unbelievable to me. This happened. I'm going to recap now, just for those of you joining us, because I realize it's 5:15 now. We've been on the air since around 4 o'clock.
People are waking up, they're starting their day, and they keep coming up to me and saying, what happened? And then the look on their face when I tell them there was an active shooter situation, 9 people are dead. Everyone's jaw is just dropping out of their mouth.
This is over the Oregon district drone video where you can just kind of get a general view of the Oregon district where this tragedy unfolded with 9 innocent people shot and killed tonight.
If you're just joining us, we know it's early in the morning, 5:50. This has been going on for several hours, but we also know that most of you have been sleeping overnight. So let me give you a recap. It was just after 1 o'clock, reports of a mass shooting in the Oregon district. That I'm being told that we do have a doctor from Miami Valley Hospital live on the line.
Well, the vast majority were actual gunshot victims. Others were injured by trying to flee the incident. There were those that sustained lacerations.
But while we're waiting to hear from the mayor, she has said a tweet.
Correct. I understand Mike Campbell's working to get her live on the air right now. However, as of 4 minutes ago, she did tweet out, and this is from her official page, I'm heartbroken. Thank you to our first responders for all that you've done.
Some of the video we were just looking at was video from earlier of the police response, and you're seeing, just look at the sheer numbers of first responders who went to the Oregon district tonight after this shooting. We're taking a look inside the Dayton Convention Center. This is the Family Assistance Center, and you can see people waiting for word, and it's got to be very stressful.
Yeah, this really shows that people truly were running for their lives. I'm going to step out so that you can take a look right now. You can see there's a pile on the ground, which we can now see in daylight now. It's roped off by caution tape.
And we now have a statement from,
I believe, Governor Mike DeWine. Correct. Fran and I are absolutely heartbroken over the horrible attack that occurred this morning in Dayton.
Well, Adam, what we can tell you is that we've been able to come inside the convention center because we do expect a briefing from Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley.
Very difficult time for at least 10 families in our community, and their lives have completely changed. But in addition to the 26 that are injured, it could be many more that lives are changed.
They did not want to characterize exactly what happened, just that this individual, a male, opened fire. They didn't say exactly what type of rifle. They just called it a high-powered rifle. And
I believe it's Jay Williams, and they were at Hannah's bar as the shooting happened.
And the guy who was running the show came in on stage and said he had to cut the show early because there was a shooting going on in the Oregon district, and that 5 people at the time had been shot, and that we all needed to evacuate. I'm like, okay, so 5 people have been shot. I'm like, that's crazy.
And now that we're seeing people come out, it has been horrific to watch them get the news about their loved ones. I know one person came out just wailing, saying that their loved one had died.
That is a snapshot of the mass shooting that happened about 7 hours ago right here in the Miami Valley. We're talking about the very popular downtown Oregon district on what was a beautiful Saturday night into Sunday morning. We have a total of 10 dead. 9 of those are victims. 1 of the dead is the shooter, again, killed by police in less than 1 minute.
Mike Turner has 2 daughters. Jessica's 27. Carolyn is 25. I don't know which daughter he's referring to. They're both fine young women. One of them in law school. The other one, I think, just joined the military to go to medical school, I believe.
So here's what I've been able to find out in just the last couple minutes going through my notes right here. According to this doctor, 9 patients came here to Grandview Medical Center, and the emergency room team here on duty at the time had 1 to 2 minutes notice that they were on the way here.
Well, I think the biggest challenge was the initial receipt of that many victims in a short period of time. However, as I said, that went, in my opinion, extremely well.
In the last 15 to 20 minutes, almost all of them overcome with emotion, declining to speak with us, but confirming that they have heard the worst news imaginable, which is that a family member or friend of theirs was lost in this horrific shooting.
So you know firsthand what some of these people have witnessed last night. What are they going through?
Some of them are just in shock at the carnage that they witnessed, and so very saddened that so many people unnecessarily lost their lives so innocently, just going about their business on a Saturday night.
How many years you spent on the police department and your rank, and gosh, your initial thoughts when you see this happening?
There wasn't even a 911 call. They just heard it and went to it, and that's, you know, thank God, because it ended really quick.
What goes into taking care of those on the ground who are wounded and hurt after a situation like this?
So the first arriving EMS providers, I would assume, and it speaks well that, you know, most of the people that arrived at the hospital, they have survived thus far. We haven't had any additional fatalities.
We had video earlier from a surveillance video Ring doorbell. That's simply the doorbell with the surveillance video in it. And you could see what appeared to be 2 women grasping onto each other, pinning themselves up against that doorbell as tight as humanly possible. One of the women with her hands and arms over the face and head of another woman. This is part of it right here.
This is a live look inside Holy Trinity, which is just south of the Oregon District. If you know where the intersection of 5th and Kiwi is, Holy Trinity sits about a block down.
People have been stopping by, giving each other hugs and things. When we were out at the scene earlier, we were actually at a church, Holy Trinity Catholic Church. He said that Dayton is hurting and that people need prayer right now. So they are keeping their doors open.
I just feel sad for the world, you know, everyone that's going to have to go through all of this misery. It's just sad.
And obviously you're coming down, spending some time over here to be a part of this vigil, to be with the community. Why did you want to come out?
I wanted to come out to show my support and love to all the people who just died, you know.
And Cheryl, as you mentioned moments ago, again, a 24-year-old from Bellbrook, that is the suspected shooter at this point. We want to get right to News Center 7's own Gabrielle Enright. She joins us live from our newsroom with new information. Gabrielle.
We've been working to confirm that name for a while. It's one that we've been hearing floating through the newsroom. We just were able to confirm it a few minutes ago, and I've already talked with some people who said that their son actually went to high school, went to school, was in Boy Scouts with Connor Betts.
I did just take the opportunity to look up on the Greene County Clerk of Court's office to see if this suspected shooter, has a criminal record of any kind, and all I can find is traffic offenses, 2 of them from 2016, 1 for speed, 1 for OVI.
Now I'm being told we have a picture, so I'm going to go ahead and say his name again. This is 24-year-old Connor Betts of Bellbrook. Again, this is the suspected shooter. This is also maybe why the FBI and Bellbrook Police Department are surrounding a home there.
Now we're going to go to Bellbrook to get the latest. Sean Cudahy is there, and that's where police are on scene at the home of the young man who is believed to have been the shooter in this.
What are you guys doing out here this afternoon?
This is connected to the events that happened in downtown Dayton early this morning.
He confirmed that they are, in fact, executing a search warrant at the home of the suspect here on this street. They're going to actually keep this street closed off, they said, until tomorrow.
Okay, Sean, thank you.
This is right before the shooting and during. Now, we've carefully selected this video because we don't want to show anything graphic, but these are people, it's on a loop, so we'll see it again, people just hanging around. and then suddenly they hear the gunfire. You see people fall to the ground. You see people run.
When this first happened, Adam, we had this discussion that this was going to hit close to home and that we would know people involved. I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would actually know someone that was familiar with the shooter.
We now want to show you this video. This is early this morning. I believe Mike Campbell said maybe around 7:30 or 8 this morning. This is the reaction. This is one example of a reaction of people showing up at the Dayton Convention Center, which is where they were told to go, Gabrielle, to learn if their family or friends were involved in this.
But I did, just a couple of minutes ago, talk with a man who said he's known him for 20 years. We want to go ahead and play you that interview.
It's a big testament to mental health and what we need to do to try to understand mental health. And
well, I want to tell you, Adam, we're getting some new surveillance video. This is from a different perspective, and we should be able to see a little bit more of what happened there overnight just after 1 o'clock this morning. Oh, there's more. Goodness. We talk about the injuries not only from the gunfire, but from people running. And
you see the one individual go down there. Obviously, she's not getting back up. She does get back up, I'm told. We now want to get back out to that prayer vigil that's just kicking off there at the Levitt Pavilion.
Coming together with strength and with unity across so many different backgrounds.
You got this together really last minute. Just talk a little bit about why you wanted to do this.
Well, immediately, the need is to come together.
Yes. When you're responding to this, John, when you're aware, if these police officers have any idea what they're dealing with in terms of the armament that this guy had, John, are you engaging with the pistol? Are you pulling the pistol off your hip?
Because this was such a rapidly evolving incident, I'm curious if the officers even had an opportunity to get to the long gun.
We are hearing from the Dayton chapter of the NAACP. News Center 7's Jim Oddie just wrapped up a press conference with them.
We started out the news conference by expressing their profound sadness, their shock, just their immediate gut reaction to this, saying that they never expected to see this happen.
It's another sad day in our nation, that we see once again, time after time after time again, assault weapons being used on everyday citizens.
Less than 60 seconds, that shooter was able to kill 9 people and injure, Gabby, another 26 just in that short time frame in the Oregon district.
We also want to tell you a little bit more about the victims. This is the list that makes it all too real. This is that picture that I was told.
Yeah.
This is Lois Oglesby.
This is Lois Oglesby. She was 27.
57-year-old Derek Fudge. He was the oldest victim in that group.
Yeah, this is Nicholas Coomer.
He's age 25.
Just 25.
25 years old. Think about the entire life that he had ahead of him.
We have confirmed that this is Logan Turner. He was 30 years old.
Even younger, Megan Betts. Megan is, of course, the suspected shooter's sister.
This is Monica Brickhouse. She was 39. She is another one of the victims. And this is Thomas McNichols. He was just 25.
You will now hear one of the 911 calls we received.
So it's right outside, over the wall. Okay, right outside. One gun, one man, and a man, multiple shots.
These are outside of Ned Pepper's. See the suspect enter the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. That's him there entering or attempting to enter Ned Pepper's when he is struck multiple times. See a lot of officers who are entering in from the upper left-hand corner of this screen and begin heading down the roadway there to engage the suspect.
5 officers, 6 total. We know that they engaged him within 30 seconds. That video they showed, Chief Beal said he was trying to get into Ned Pepper. Molly, that video shows him, he falls to his death on the doorstep of Ned Pepper's. That was chilling to see.
It should have been like any Saturday in Dayton's Oregon district. The sound of music and friends laughing together on a beautiful summer night. Then,
multiple shots fired! Multiple shots fired!
It lasted less than 1 minute. 9 lives taken. Dozens of people rushed to the hospital.
Everybody's just screaming and running and just trying to get away. I've never been that scared before.
Dayton police ran toward the sound of gunfire and put an end to the violence.
I thought I was about to die to the officer. He was like standing over the top of me, and he started shooting at the guy. So he saved everybody that was out here.
Now, as our community gathers to mourn and to come together in the face of tragedy, News Center 7 continues coverage of the Oregon District mass shooting.